Hey guys, welcome back to another Polygel nail design set. So this is my very first set for the new year. So it is my 2025 set. Now the color combo or the inspo for this set just came from looking at some of my older sets and putting together some colors I haven't used. But there's a lot to unpack in this video, so let's get started. Here is my form application. All I did was just pre-pinch that first that first tab closed, and then opened up the back. If you look closely, I have a square or flat nail bed. On top of, they grow upwards. And so I need to do a little customizing to get it to fit. If you see, if I put it directly on the finger like that, there will be a gap there. And I have to close that, or I have to fix that. So I'm going to take with my skin and that nail disconnect, that little opening, I'm going to put a slit there. Same thing on the other side. Skin, nail, disconnect, I'm going to cut it there. This for one will relieve some of the pressure of this form up under my nail, making it a little more flexible for me to be able to pinch them and close them tight. Then I'm going to go in and remove those little corner points. The forms have natural smile lines, and because my natural nail do not have a smile line, I need to make this form a little bit more square. It's like a puzzle, so I'm just trying to get it to fit up underneath my nail like a puzzle would. Okay, now I was struggling a little bit there to get that little corner piece off, but once we get that off, now I'm going to go ahead and put that form back up underneath of my nail. Now again, my nails grow upwards, and so I need to rock this form up to make sure there is no space in between my natural nail and the form. So I'll put the form on, I'll adjust it a bit. Now at this point, I just want to make sure that center line on the form is aligned with my knuckle. So I just want to make sure that that line is straight all the way down. Once that is done, I'll close the second and third tab, and then just make sure it is tightly secured to my finger. Open up those little sides where I put the slits at, and just make sure everything is nice and tight. Now, if your forms are popping off, oh, back up. So once I put them all on, I like to look at the paper forms as if they are the nail extension. So I relax my hand, look at them, make sure they all look straight. If you use foam and you're struggling with your forms and they just keep like popping off or popping off your hands, wash your hands beforehand. The paper forms stick a lot better to dry, clean hands than they do dirty, oily hands. All right, so now we're going to go in with some peel off base coat. Now my nail room is cold, and so the base coat was a little bit on the stiffer side, and so I just wipe a little bit on the nail, and then I'll double back over top of it. And just to even it out, I want my base coat to be thin and even across all of the fingers. And then I'll give that a 60-second cure. Alright, so now we're going to start out with the first color, Polygel. Now, let me tell you guys now, this set here is being done with my non-dominant hand. And so, I feel like I may go out of focus a little bit, but I don't know. We'll see as the video go. I feel like I may have cut all those little parts out, but I am working with my non-dominant hand. And so, yeah, it was just a lot to this video. Alright, so look, I squeeze that very first bead of polygel out. I take my brush. Now, this polygel is a stiff polygel. And when I say stiff, meaning that it is hard to squeeze out of that tube, and it is hard to kind of work. Now, again, my nail room is cold, but even during the summer months, this polygel is still stiff to squeeze out of that tube. But I personally prefer a good stiff polygel. I feel like the stiffer it is, the less it will run and flood up underneath those cuticles. Alright, so at this point, I'm just taking my brush, holding it a little closer to those bristles, and patting that polygel down into my cuticle area. I want to make sure the polygel is close to my cuticles without touching it. So just be sure to leave a little space in between. Once I go ahead and start spreading it all over, making sure my natural nail is fully covered, then I'll go into the shape. And so all I did was just pull down my sides, and then I'm just going to square this off. For the most part, this was like the longest clip because, again, it is a lot of steps, but this first one was just like the longest step. Alright, so now we're going to go in with some purple. And another thing, when I work with my non-dominant hand, I do try to do like 2 nails at a time. I try to work with like 2 at a time because I'm already moving a little bit slower. But Yeah, so you may see me like squeeze it out, but I don't cure them until all the designs are done. But look, just go ahead and straighten that out. Now, here's another thing. Polygel is sticky. Now, granted, some are more stickier than the others, but because polygel is sticky, I can't really use tools to help cut and make these lines straight. And so every design that I do, I am literally just using my brush and a little patience and more slip if need be, and just kind of working into those designs and clean lines. I wish I can use some tools. Now, if I do like a V or a French, I can use my little plastic tool, but the problem with that is it still sticks to the tool. So I wind up just using my brush. But yeah, yeah, that was just a little moment. Anyway, so look, we're gonna go back in. We're gonna go in with the orange. This one is from Model One. And so I just take my big brush, kind of put it on there, and then let me see. Then I'll go in with my smaller detailer brush, and this is what allowed me to get those lines kind of super straight. The smaller the brush, it was easy to kind of fit into those corners, and then squared that one off. Gave that a cure. Every color is getting a quick cure. Quick cure anywhere between 8 to 10 seconds. So when my hand disappear off that screen, it's going into the lamp. Now this is where this set kind of lost me, where I kind of wasn't feeling it too much, because I feel like I should have used one cover shade or one nude shade instead of using the one on my nail bed and then this one. I feel like I should have just used one or the other, and I think I'd have liked this set a lot more. But overall, I still like the set. All I was doing at this point now is just going back and repeating the same colors. So going back in with the blue from Macart. This is from their neon kit. And then went in with the purple from More Than. This purple, this shape here design was the only one I did like a bit of a triangle. The squares, I was getting a little almost overwhelmed with the squares. And so I just threw a little triangle in there. And then just, yeah, went ahead and repeated all of the colors until I was finished with the nail. Um, Let me say this while this little clip is playing out. Thank you guys. Thank you for taking out the time to watch these videos. I definitely love and appreciate you guys for that. If you guys can just do me a favor, please just continue to like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments. They definitely, first of all, I appreciate them all, but they definitely help my channel in so many ways. So thank you, thank you, thank you guys. All right, so after I did all that, remove that form, I'm going to take my little detail brush and just push all those colors back into the spot or area that it is supposed to be in. Being that the form was blocking the light from getting up under there and curing it, I just needed to clean it all up. But if you're using tips, you don't have to worry about that step. Gave that a full 60-second cure. Go in and wipe them off with a clean paper towel and some alcohol. Definitely wipe them off because they will be sticky and it will make filing a pain. Here's how they look after that first application, a thick mess. Now, here I got some more steps. So here, once I was filing, I came across this big hole. And so I cannot leave that like that. I'm a detailed type of person, and those little things like that will drive me crazy. So let me show you guys how I fix that. Now I am adding a form on because I did decide to extend the length of this set. But if you just come across a hole and you're not extending anything, you definitely don't need to put the form on. Okay, so I'm going to put the form on now. Unlike the first clip where I had to customize this form to get it to fit under my natural nails, I did not have to do that for this part because I'm not getting the form to go up under my natural nail. I just needed to be directly up underneath of the artificial nail, and my main concern was to make sure there was no gap from the form and the tip of this nail. So once I worked that out, got that little gap closed off, now I'm going to go in with the same color polygel, which is this purple from Morvan, and I'm going to squeeze a tiny amount directly over top of that hole. Now, again, I didn't see this hole until I started filing, and so what I want to do is, being that I was able to stick my tweezers or anything down into that, I want to make sure this hole is fully packed in. So I'm going to push that polygel as hard as I can into that hole just to make sure it is fully closed off, or every spot of that hole is fully covered up. And then I'm just going to take whatever little bit that was left over and just kind of smooth it out, wipe it off if need be. Again, I still needed to file these, so I wasn't too worried about getting off the extra. All right, now for the how I extended them, I just took that same color purple, squeezed a little bead directly onto that form. Now gel will stick to gel, so I don't need to add any base coat. I don't need to add any clear or anything. I just take that wet, uncured polygel and push it right up against that hard cured polygel. Once it is cured, it will naturally stick to itself, and so I didn't have to add anything extra to make it stick. My only focus here was to try to make sure that my rectangles or my lines were even across all of the fingers, just trying to keep with my same pattern that I was doing prior to extending them. Same thing with the blue, just add it on there, make sure it's connected towards that purple, even everything out, and then gave that a 60-second cure. Once I removed the form, same process, smooth it all out again, gave that its final cure. Now here's how they looked after that second application. A thick mess. Because it was a lot, I left out the filing. I didn't want to kind of overwhelm you guys. So boom, here we are, top coating. Vanillisa top coat, just wipe it all over the nail, make sure it don't flood. Wipe the extra top coat off the sides and from the underside and the tip. This way I can keep my clean shape. Gave that a 60-second cure, did that on all of them. Now I'm going to take some, what is that, rhinestone glue. Now, the reason why I top coat them all, because I didn't know which charm I wanted to use. And so I went ahead and top coated and then played around with it. I just kind of cut all that extra out. And these blue ones is the ones I decided on. And so, boom, rhinestone glue charms. There we are, or rhinestones. There we go. Super cute set. I did love this set. Again, it was just so much to this set, but I definitely think it was worth it. I do love how they turned out, and I definitely be doing a lot more straight line work this upcoming year. Although I was trying to point out something, but all the thing that I like about this is that even if my line was wonky on that pointer finger, it was wonky on that middle finger and that ring finger. So I was just glad they all turned out the same, wonky and all. But overall, I think they were super cute. But thank you guys for watching these videos, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye.